What led to the hysteria that enveloped an entire town? Picture a place suspended in time. Salem, 17th century. A town steeped in religiosity, bound by societal norms and haunted by the fear of the unknown. Here, a simple misunderstanding could ignite a wildfire of paranoia. Expert testimonies paint a vivid image of this era, a time when superstition reigned and rationality faltered. The stage was set for a shocking misunderstanding. It started with whispers, which quickly turned into loud accusations. In the winter of 1692, the town of Salem was caught in the grip of an unyielding frost, but it was not the cold that sent shivers down the spines of its residents. No, it was something far more insidious. Something that began with the strange afflictions of two young girls. They convulsed, they screamed, they threw things around, and they fell into trances. The local doctor was baffled, unable to diagnose anything physical. In the throes of desperation and fear, he suggested the unthinkable: witchcraft. And so, the seed of suspicion was planted, watered by the fear of the unknown and nurtured by the strict Puritan belief in the supernatural. The first to be accused were those on the fringes of Salem society: Sarah Good, a homeless beggar; Sarah Osborne, a poor elderly woman; and Tituba, a slave of different ethnicity who fascinated the village children with stories of enchantment from her native folklore. These women were easy targets, their social standing making them susceptible to the wild imaginings of a terrified community. The accusations did not stop there. As paranoia took hold, neighbors began to accuse neighbors, friends turned on friends, and even family members were not safe from suspicion. The first arrests were made, and the accused were brought before the local magistrates in crowded, tense courtrooms. In this atmosphere of fear and suspicion, the word of two young girls held sway, their dramatic displays of fits and convulsions taken as irrefutable proof of the presence of witchcraft. A timeline of events began to take shape, with one accusation leading to another. A chain of events that seemed to confirm the worst fears of the townsfolk. And so, the trials began. The whisper of witchcraft had turned into a deafening chorus of accusations, the echoes of which would reverberate through the centuries, a chilling reminder of a time when fear and hysteria could turn a close-knit community into a hotbed of suspicion and injustice. In the name of justice, a town was thrown into chaos. The Salem Witch Trials were a series of prosecutions, a tempest of fear and hysteria that took over a quiet town in the 17th century. The courtroom became a stage, where the accused stood, their futures hanging by a thread, their fate in the hands of stern judges and a terror-stricken community. The trials were a whirlwind of accusations and testimonies. Women, children, and men alike were brought to the stand, their lives dissected, their every action scrutinized. The cases were varied, each one more baffling than the last. Bridget Bishop, a woman known for her flamboyant lifestyle and multiple marriages, was among the first to be accused and convicted. She was hanged in June of 1692, marking the beginning of a tragic series of executions. Then there was Giles Corey, an elderly farmer who refused to enter a plea. He was subjected to a brutal form of punishment known as peine forte et dure, where heavy stones were placed upon his chest in an attempt to force a plea out of him. His last words, "more weight," echoed the defiance and tragedy of these trials. In every corner of the courtroom you could hear the rustle of fear, the murmur of prayers, and the whispers of doubt. The air was thick with tension, every heartbeat echoing the grave seriousness of the situation. The haunting notes of a violin underscored the drama, its mournful melody a reflection of the sorrow and despair that filled the hearts of the accused and their loved ones. The trials were relentless, the consequences dire. 19 people were hanged, 1 was pressed to death, and 5 died in jail, their lives claimed by an unfounded hysteria. The verdicts were delivered swiftly and without mercy, leaving an indelible mark on the town and its people. The verdicts were delivered, but at a great cost. The Salem Witch Trials remain one of the darkest chapters in American history, a chilling testament to the power of fear and the devastating consequences of misinformation and misunderstanding. The trials ended, but their echoes lingered. Like the waning notes of a haunting melody, the aftermath of the Salem Witch Trials resonated through the centuries, still audible in our modern world. In Salem's wake, a town was left to grapple with the chilling aftermath of their collective hysteria. Courtrooms, once filled with fear-induced accusations and cries for justice, fell eerily silent. The streets, previously teeming with frenzied activity, were now a desolate reminder of the tragedy that had unfolded. As the town began to recover, remorse and regret seeped into the hearts of the community. The realization of the horror they had inflicted upon their own, under the guise of righteousness, was a bitter pill to swallow. This remorse led to a significant shift in their understanding of justice and morality, forever changing the course of Salem and its people. Fast forward to the present day, and the legacy of Salem is still very much alive. Memorials stand in the town, silent testament to those who lost their lives in the hysteria. These modern interpretations serve as reminders, urging us to learn from the past, to question our fears, and to constantly reevaluate our understanding of justice. Renowned scholars and historians have dissected the Salem Witch Trials, offering insightful commentaries on its significance. They draw parallels between the events of 1692 and contemporary issues, highlighting the human tendency to react out of fear and ignorance. Consider this quote from historian George Lincoln Burr. "The Salem witchcraft was the rock on which the theocracy shattered." It underscores how the trials undermined the religious and social structures of the time, leading to a profound shift in societal norms and beliefs. The echoes of Salem reverberate in our justice system, reminding us of the dangers of mass hysteria and the importance of fair trials. They whisper in our ears the timeless lesson that fear, unchecked, can lead to devastating consequences. The legacy of Salem was etched in history. Its echoes serve not as mere remnants of a bygone era but as vital lessons for the present and the future. As we move forward, may we carry these echoes with us, ever mindful of the lessons they impart. What can the Salem Witch Trials teach us today? As we stand in the present, we must look back at our past. The Salem Witch Trials were a dark period in our history, but the lessons they offer are crucial in shaping our understanding of society, justice, and fear. Firstly, the trials remind us of the power of fear. Fear can cloud our judgment, leading us to act irrationally, even violently. In Salem, fear of the unknown, fear of the other, led to the persecution of innocent people. Today we must be wary of letting fear dictate our actions and decisions, be it the fear of different cultures, beliefs, or ideologies. Secondly, the trials underscore the importance of skepticism and critical thinking. In the face of hysteria and panic, it's vital to question, to probe, to seek evidence. In a world that's saturated with information, we must strive to separate fact from fiction, just as we should have during Salem's time of turmoil. Thirdly, the trials highlight the significance of due process and fair trials. Accusations without substantial evidence can destroy lives, as they did in Salem. Today, we must uphold the principles of justice, ensuring that everyone is presumed innocent until proven guilty. Lastly, the trials emphasize the value of empathy and understanding. The victims of Salem were alienated, misunderstood, and feared. In our global society, we must strive for inclusivity, understanding, and acceptance, respecting our shared humanity above all else. As we draw parallels between the past and the present, we must remember that history often serves as a mirror, reflecting our triumphs and our failures. The Salem Witch Trials, a glaring instance of our collective failure, should serve as a reminder of the dangerous paths we must avoid. So, what can we do? We must educate ourselves, question our biases, champion justice, and foster empathy. Only then can we hope to prevent the horrors of the past from repeating. It's up to us to remember, learn, and never repeat. So what have we learned from the Salem Witch Trials? Let's take a moment to ponder on the key insights we've gathered. The Salem Witch Trials were not merely an isolated event, but a manifestation of the prevailing fear and misunderstanding that clouded the society of 17th century Salem. This fear, born out of religious fervor and societal norms, led to an outbreak of hysteria that would stain the pages of history forever. We saw how innocent lives were caught in this whirlwind of accusations and trials, their fates sealed by the collective fear of the unknown. The echoes of their unjust trials are not just confined to history, but continue to reverberate in our legal systems and societal dynamics today. As we reflect on these events, we're reminded of the power of fear and its ability to cloud judgment and incite chaos. The trials serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of unfounded accusations and the importance of due process and justice. However, the fall of Salem isn't just a tale of despair, it's a testament to our ability to learn and evolve. The remorse that followed the trials led to changes in the legal system and societal norms, highlighting our capacity for growth and understanding. As we delve into history, we must ask ourselves, are we immune to the fears that once gripped Salem?